Last week, I went to Berlin for a weekend trip with my friend. While there are many options to get between Leiden and Berlin, my friend and I decided to fly due to time constraints and price. 4.1 billion passengers and I, taking 280 million planes, enjoy flying every year. And personal choices of travel incentivize companies to improve their services and routes based on routes people frequently take. Air travel, as a mode of transport, uses the highest amount of CO2 emissions per person per kilometer after cargo ships. While long-distance destinations, weekend trips, and far-flung business meetings could not be accomplished without air travel, there still needs to be a consideration of the environmental impact when taking frequent flights. So the question arises, should we as consumers stop flying? I love traveling, and traveling to exotic destinations to far-flung islands like this, or this would not be reasonably possible without taking planes. While planes have become more efficient through flying lighter and more efficient routes with more efficient engines, they are still not sustainable and still produce a large amount of CO2. For most short-haul travel, we can reduce our CO2 emissions by taking other forms of transport, such as trains, buses, or cars. Additionally, many airlines are now becoming more environmentally conscious by offering to offset their CO2 emissions through donations to charities that work to fight climate change. However, with the rise in oil prices and consumers' affinity for the environment, there are and should be more options for flying and reducing CO2. In the Netherlands, there are 2 projects working on tackling this challenge, providing an economic solution to a global problem. Sky Energy has a project known as DSL-1, which will use waste from other industries such as cooking oil and clean hydrogen produced through water electrolysis, powered by wind power, in order to produce fuel. Using this method, they will reduce CO2 by 85%. In a second project, Sky Energy has signed an agreement to create a demonstration plant to capture and reduce CO2 from the air. Using technology from the Swiss firm Cleanworks, Sky Energy will convert CO2 into jet fuel with a plant that is completely powered by renewable energy, such as solar and wind power. Both these plants have demonstrated estimated capacity of producing 1,000 liters of fuel a day. But upscaling could be foreseeable, especially with climate change concerns from passengers and rising fuel prices. Should we stop flying? No. We as consumers can reduce our flying until there are more sustainable options and invest in offsetting our CO2 emissions through green technology. Sustainable fuel is not just a trend advocated by consumers. It's also a concern to businesses with the unstable fuel prices. By having more sustainable options, airlines are able to continue to expand their operations while still holding responsibility toward the environment.